We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật tiết chúng sanh, tình chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liễu sanh thoát từ ly khổ đạt lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Saranto Sichedoye Alahadi San Miao San Puto Sie. Nam mô Tát Tát Tha Toya Raja Alahade Tam Miao Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian, 万劫难遭遇，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Qingliang, Great Master Xuanhua, all good monks and nuns and all good knowing advisors of Meitofo. 诸佛菩萨、金良大士、师父上人、各位主持人、各位上主sư Meitofo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư, Thượng Thiện Hóa, quý thầy cô và các vị thiện sĩ Thích Ca Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 9th of August 2024. We're here at Way Mountain Temple on Friday night to continue discussing the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. Thank you for joining us. We're right now on slide 938. Last week we were at 937 and to talk about, to discuss the great wisdom mirror, what it's about. We spent the whole session talking about it, and we could never get out of it. And I thought today I will add more things, final details about this wisdom here. The Great Perfect Mirror wisdom, as a reminder, is simply like a mirror. Your practice wisdom is like a mirror. It reflects only reflects things that it comes into contact with. It doesn't add or subtract anything. The reason that the ordinary people do not have such wisdom is because of their ego. The ego likes and dislikes and makes judgment calls and so forth. Okay, so that's why ordinary people do not have the Great Perfect Mirror wisdom. And in order to get this is referring to the people with 1G or higher. Okay, and finally on the slide here 97, I just added it today, in order to be able to function in this mode of the Great Perfect Mirror wisdom, Instead of you seeking to have relics, seeking to have a red car and so forth, okay? When you are in that kind of mindset, you are not in the state of great perfect mirror wisdom. So it says here in Chinese, it says, in order for you to be in this kind of great perfect mirror wisdom, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be an old fart, you could be a young guy, okay? But if your head, okay, is locked upon an attachment, like to relics, to a red car, okay, then you don't have this great perfect mirror wisdom, okay? Because when you have such thoughts, it's contrary to the state. You cannot be in that state. You have a thought, you have some calculations, you are using your consciousness, okay? You're like, oh, this relic is so nice, it's so big, okay? Two is that, must be, your knowledge tells you that this must be such a rare thing that no one has. You're so cool for you to have it, okay? So you have no thought whatsoever. That's why you're in the state of great perfect mirror wisdom. However, if you say, I like it, then you're being an idiot. 938. No questions, please. I want to move on to 938 today. Okay. Then you have no afflictions or trouble. You would simply be too pure. Yeah? A relief to know that you can be so pure. Okay? Some of us can be so pure, and the rest of you cannot measure up. The rest of you are so impure, so attached. I'm calm. Be careful, though. No to let. What kind of English is this? Excuse me. I fixed it, I thought. No to let. Okay. Just in regard to the great job they did over there, no to let. The mirror of your inherent wisdom become coated with the dust of your unclean false thinking. See, same thing, okay? No thought whatsoever. People give you a red car in front of you. Say, what's that? What's that? People give you a big relic. What's that? Yeah. Would you like one? What's that? Okay? Got that? I've been very patient all these years. It's time for me to put my foot down. Okay? Don't remind me, please. It's important not to look for trouble when there is none, or fear it when there is. And this is translation from the Chinese, okay? I quoted this for you, okay? This is Chinese thing. That's where this comes from. The English comes from this Chinese thing. So what I did is I compared the English side and the Chinese side. So that's why I quoted it for you. And I couldn't understand, to be honest with you. I couldn't understand. Why people keep on moving my slide with me? Okay, I'm not attached. You can move all you want. Give a day. I wait until Malcolm gets afflicted and he hits him. But I'm not attached. I don't care. Okay, so what does it mean here? It bothered me. It says it's important not to look for trouble when there's none, or fear it when there is. What is it talking about? And I had to go back to the original Chinese to see what they're talking about. What does it mean? I mean, when they translate it into English, it's not a bad translation, but what does it mean? This is just so Chinese, He's explained things like a Chinese master. And I don't get it, honestly. Hey, Taiwanese master, explain, what does it mean? Yeah? Explain, what does it mean? It's important not to look for trouble when there's none and fear when there is.
So
Say what?
When you look for trouble when
See, she has to read the Chinese, right? If you were to read the English, it doesn't make any sense. Does it? No, not at all. Okay. But I'm not attached. Go ahead.
So when it's important not to look for trouble when there's none. So when there's no trouble and you're looking for trouble, that's a false thought.
Why is that a false thought? What is when there's no trouble? What is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
So trouble.
So
here,
Chinese. I mean, you can't speak. Hey, Malcolm, you know what it means? No, of course not. Huh? I have proof for you. He's authentic, white face. And he doesn't get the English. He just walked in and said, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? So what is he talking about? Go. It's not important not to look for trouble when there is none and fear when there is.
So looking for trouble is a way of expressing that you're looking for afflictions in Chinese. They use the word 麻烦. Is actually abstract concept. This is what I think what I understood. It's a
so you have no affliction, or you're looking for affliction.
Yeah, you're looking for affliction.
So the English translation sucks.
It's a literal translation.
Trouble is no affliction.
It's not exactly affliction, but when people are afflicted, we would say 你又在自找麻烦. We do use that phrase to describe people who
are looking for trouble,
who are afflicted out of nothing.
So it's a good translation. We need to be fair. I'm not attached to fairness either. Okay, so it's important not to look for trouble when there is none. So what does it mean? And not fear when there is. Yes, 8.
We have a comment here responding to you, Master, from Brady McBride.
Yeah.
He says it means don't anticipate trouble and don't be afflicted when there is trouble.
Don't anticipate trouble. What does it mean, don't anticipate trouble? Be careful, or you cannot throw words at me. What the rest of you, what do you think? If you agree with him, don't anticipate trouble, don't look for trouble. What? Go for us.
Amitabha Master. I don't know what it is in English, but I guess in Vietnamese we have a saying that đừng có vạch lá tìm sâu, là we dig for trouble.
The reference is from Chinese, not Vietnamese. What are you talking about? Yes, Chinese person, Chinese-speaking person.
So you can also say, don't look for problems. Trouble can it can also mean problems in.
What are you talking about? I'm sitting here. Why do you keep on telling me, don't look for trouble? It troubles me when you talk to me like that. Since when am I looking for trouble? Look at me. Hey.
No.
Do I look like I'm looking for trouble?
The complete.
Are you accusing me of things?
The complete sentence is, if there's no trouble, don't look for trouble.
If no trouble, don't look for trouble. But you're accusing me of looking for trouble. I'm offended.
What? How? How is that an accusation?
Because I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden you look at me and say, don't look for trouble, there's no trouble. You understand my problem? Is there someone in the audience back then who is looking, don't look for trouble when there's no trouble. And when there's trouble, don't be afraid of it. It's contradictory to me. I fail to understand the Chinese logic behind it. That's what I'm trying to point out to you. Yes, DTT. You Asians better explain this to me.
Master, I cannot read Chinese, but that I guess is that if you can stay in Samadhi, you stay in Samadhi. You don't get out of it until the trouble come and look for you, and then
You get out?
the solution for that.
Well, be clear. So your proposition, sir, is that you stay in Samadhi, don't get out of Samadhi. So don't look for trouble, right? And when trouble comes, then what happens?
Trouble comes, then we get out of Samadhi.
You get out of Samadhi!
Yeah, it's not right, really. It's a get out, but you.
I want that special effect. Anyone else? There you go. Thank you. What is he talking about? It's amazing. It's not the only place, by the way. He talked like this at various places in his lectures. And I fail to understand the Chinese logic. Yes, go Forrest.
Sorry, Master, I don't exactly know what you're looking for. But this is just saying that don't make a big deal out of it, the first part. And then second part is just the same thing, don't make big deal out of it. If there's something happen, don't reject it. The first part is don't get afflicted, don't be attached. The second part is don't reject it. Thanks.
So it's clear to you, Chinese person, what the Chinese means.
I don't know which part.
Is it clear to you, reading even in your Chinese language, that
Yes.
it's clear what he's talking about?
Yes.
Explain it to me from your Chinese perspective. What is he talking about?
So when you sit there, don't get afflicted by something happen because you don't like it. Then that's looking for trouble because you don't like something. It's just natural something happened, but
So you don't like something that means looking for trouble. I'm trying to understand your Chinese mindset now.
yeah, because
What?
It's because something just happens. It just things happen. People do things, and it's not a problem.
And that's something happened. A girl walks by.
Right, it's not a problem.
Is this looking for trouble?
No, but when you react to it,
No?
start doing something, then you are looking for trouble because that's you. You are being afflicted. You start looking for trouble. There was no trouble. Someone just walked by. Right. So.
Yeah, speaking of a girl walking by.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Walked by. Right.
And we follow her and say, yeah, I know her. So that's looking for trouble?
If you start to say, why this person is tardy?
What? You see my problems?
No, Master, anyway, that's my understanding of the first part. Is that not clear?
So, nữ just walked in, and I follow her on the screen. That's looking for trouble? Explain to me. Yes or no? Yes, 7. Tonight I'm very energetic, you notice. Yeah. Hungry but energetic. Go ahead, 7.
Master, is it don't find a reason to be afflicted?
You're interpreting so much. All I'm asking you is that nữ walks in on the screen. When in the past, last week, when someone walked in late, I said, don't people know that starting time of lectures? Now this week I know better. I didn't say anything, I simply looked. Which one is looking for trouble? Which part? Is it last week or this week? Be very specific for me. You cannot give me abstract things and expect me to understand. I'm very crude. I'm a peasant. Which one? Last week when I kept on screaming at someone for coming to my lecture late versus today, I didn't attack anyone. Yes, last week is a man. This week is a woman. It's a different. Yes, but I admit. But what's the difference? Was I looking for trouble last week or this week? Is it 1 or 2? 2?
One last, if someone respond to it, it's like if it's the mirror, just reflect it and don't do anything. That's not looking for trouble.
So now she's accusing me for looking for trouble last week.
No, Master, you're just acting out.
What? It's even worse than looking for trouble. She now accusing me of acting up.
No, Master, like the answer is either 1 or 2. Specific for you.
I don't know why I put up with all of you.
Master,
Yes.
were you afflicted last week?
Why do you think I was saying, why are you late?
How about this week?
This week, not afflicted at all. Yes, JMT. And you have to be specific. You cannot give me words and expect me to buy into it. JMT.
Vấn đề chánh ở đây đó, người ta nói cái mirror nó chiếu, cái gì tới nó chiếu, cái duyên vật gì tới nó chiếu rồi đi thì thôi. Thì giống như cái tâm Phật của mình vậy đó, tâm chân không của mình, cái gì tới mình biết, mắt tai mũi lưỡi mình biết, nó đi thì thôi, để cái tâm trống. Chứ đừng có moi móc lên là cái này thế này, cái kia thế kia, cái ông này già đẹp, cái cô kia xấu, là mình khởi trouble lên, chứ cái tâm mình nó không có khỏi cái đó. Mà thí dụ rõ ràng là khi hai vị tăng đứng chờ nghe giảng kinh Niết Bàn, thì một ông nói là lá phướng bay mạnh quá, một ông nói gió động lá phướng mới bay. Tức là cái gương của hai ông này thấy hai cái gió và cái phướng thì khởi lên. Thì Lục Tổ đứng mấy cái bên, Lục Tổ nói là tâm mấy ông động cho phướng với cái gió nó không có động. Đó là thí dụ cái câu này đó. Cái gương nó tới thì để nó đưa tới, nó đi thì thôi. Mình khởi lên là động chứ không động. Đó mình khởi trouble lên thì Lục Tổ mới nói là cái tâm mấy ông động, chứ gió với phướng không có động.
Hello, Master. I think that the main problem here is that when people talk about the mirror, whatever comes, it just reflects. When people, when it goes, it just by itself like that. So just like our true mind of the Buddha is, the true mind is empty, whether through what we know through our eyes, our ear, our nose, our tongue, we just know it. But when we say, don't say that they are ugly or beautiful, that is when we're looking for trouble, the trouble arises. So clearly in example of the two monks waiting and then discussing about the Paranirvana Sutra. So there was a discussion about the flag and the wind, and one person say that it is the wind caused the flag to fly, and and then the other to move, and the other person say, no, the flag is moving by itself. So then the sixth patriarch came along and saying that it is your mind, the mind of both of you are moving, not that the wind or the flag is moving. And this is the example talking that relate to what we're talking about.
And what about this second part where it says, when there's trouble, don't be scared.
Rắc rối khởi lên đó, thì các pháp là do cái duyên nó khởi lên, duyên tốt duyên xấu nó khởi lên, thì cái tâm mình nhận biết như vậy thôi, chứ mình không có giải quyết được, tại vì trong cái tâm chân tâm mình đó, nó nhận biết các pháp tốt xấu nó xảy ra do cái duyên của nó, thì mình chỉ biết vậy thôi, chứ còn mà mình không có phiền não theo cái đó.
It is said that, so when trouble comes, when the Dharma, everything caused by condition, the good conditions or the bad conditions arise, our mind just recognize it. And you just know it, and that's it. And things happen, whether it is good or bad, is caused by condition by it. But don't get afflicted by it.
That's my answer. There's no need to talk like this, explain like this, because it's confusing. You see, we'll be going back and forth. No one can tell me what is affliction and what is trouble and what is not trouble when it's not here, when it's here. Fear. You know, it's a lot of nonsense. Fear. He's assuming it's fear. It's no fear. You don't need to have fear for it to be a problem or not have a problem. It's a lot of Chinese hogwash. So I want you to know that next time you see this section in Master Thichvinhhoausa stuff, you can strike it out because this is nonsense. This is not the way to explain what the problem is. To Chinese. The Chinese, Asians seem to understand, but I haven't heard anything from them that explained to me what he's talking about. Okay? It's not necessary. Trouble. When trouble, don't be looking for trouble. What makes you think I'm looking for trouble? I'm just being myself, and then someone walks in late. When I decide to get afflicted or not, since when is that trouble? Some days I'm afflicted, some days I'm not. Don't accuse me. I'm normal. You understand? I have problems with the Chinese styles of explanation. To me, I can't connect with it. It's important not to look for trouble. What you assuming I'm looking for trouble? I'm just being myself, and you're assuming I'm looking for trouble. You see my problem in English, huh? English-speaking people, right? You're assuming I'm looking for trouble. I'm not. Stop making accusations. You Chinese people understand Chinese. You agree with me or disagree with me? You disagree. After all this time, you still disagree?
I agree.
It's not the way to explain the Dharma. It's confusing, especially to Westerners. That's why I want you to strike this out. This just because maybe it makes sense. You see, all these Asians, they claim they make sense to them, but they cannot express it to me in a way that I'm, as a Westerner, can understand. That's my problems. I'm not saying he's wrong. I know what he's talking about. But you don't. So therefore, this explanation here is not for you. That's why I told you to strike it. Yes, go for it.
Master, is a problem that this is judgmental, or this way of phrasing it?
No, it's just he's too Chinese. He doesn't have the Western logical basis. He's not wrong, but the way he expresses it may make sense to you Asians, but it doesn't make sense to me. You know, I'm unhappy because this, since last week, I put a question mark here. I said, what is it talking about? And unhappy further today because it made me lose time to go look up what the original Chinese was and check the translation, okay? And still trying. So it wastes my time to explain the Dharma this way. I know I'm insulting all of you who idolize Master Hsuan and say, I follow Master Hsuan's Dharma. Go follow him. But today I'm telling you, if you follow this, you're going to be confused. Okay? That's all. This is not how you explain what the problem is. How do you explain it? Don't. There's no need to generalize here. It cannot be generalized. That's all you need to know. So I've seen this before elsewhere. Master Hsuan has a tendency to repeat himself, okay, on these points he feels are important. Again, his point is not wrong, but this is the wrong way to teach you because it causes confusion for Western educated people like me. I'm offended. How can you possibly start saying it's important for you not to look for trouble? I said, what? I'm not looking for trouble? Are you? Who's looking for trouble? Tell me. Are you? Are you looking for trouble? Why do you raise your hand? Are you looking for trouble? Yes, Evan.
So, Master, can you let me finish and not cut me off, and then I can...
Are you looking for trouble?
It's because when I read it, I'm not that defensive about the statement. So is it like a cultural difference? Like it's because it's a transliteration, so it comes off differently?
No.
No?
You cannot talk to Westerners like this. You talk to a professor, you talk to someone educated, okay? They're going to say, you're speaking nonsense. I'm not looking for trouble. You're accusing me of looking for trouble. That is offensive. Go, finish.
But it seems like Master is like really making a strong statement, but it is true. If I do talk like that to Westerners, they do get offended. So it's true, we do get defensive about it, but when we read the Chinese, it just comes off differently. It's not like that.
That's precisely my point. You talk to the Chinese, it's okay. But you cannot talk to me like this because I get offended. Okay? I'm not talking with me personally. I say a Western educated person, he says, what are you talking about? I'm not looking for trouble. I don't want to be your friends anymore. Yes, 5.
Master, was the translation wrong because it looks like it's suggesting a thought or putting words in your mouth or suggesting that?
No. The translation is not bad. It's just that the way he goes about explaining this concept in the context of the perfect mirror wisdom is wrong. It's simply misleading. I'm trying to understand from a Chinese or the Asian if it makes sense to them. So far, I haven't heard anything that makes sense to me. Listen. Our Mahayana, okay? is English-based. It's not Chinese-based. I take the Chinese, I have to elaborate for you into English. It has to be from a perspective of the English language, not Chinese language. They tell me they make sense of them in Chinese. I can see what they're talking about and what he's talking about. I know they don't understand what he's talking about quite yet. But I can accept it because the Chinese accept it. We say, we follow Master Hsuan. I only believe Master Hsuan. I'm telling you, this is what you should not follow. This is not the way to explain what the problem is. The best way to deal with this, okay? It's not meant to be generalized. You cannot generalize this. Okay? It causes confusion. It's only recently I have a lot of people who say, I follow Master Hsuan, I follow Master Hsuan, and so forth. And I say, okay, follow him. I'm only reminding all of them not to follow this, because you follow this, you're going to get in trouble. You only get confused. Okay? I got confused by this. Okay, next. In cultivating a bodhisattva way, undertaking doors of practice to benefit living beings, you need to let others have good things and take bad ones on yourself. This I like. Make sense to you or not? Huh? In English, Chinese, same thing. It's very clear. There's no misinterpretation possible. Whereas the prior section, it's important not to look for trouble when there is none. It's nonsense. You don't explain things like that because it causes confusion. I want you to understand it because after I'm done, you need to explain the Dharma. Okay? You have to be precise. You don't want to generalize when it cannot be generalized. Previous one cannot be generalized because of the nature of the issue he's trying to address. It cannot be generalized at all. It's wrong to try to generalize it the way he did. And he tried it. He did it. At least I noticed at least 5, 6 different places. Okay? Too Chinese. Stay away from trying to generalize more than you're supposed to. Okay? Now, it's very clear. He says, what we're doing now is walk the bodhisattva path. What does it mean? It's very clear. Okay? The path is to benefit all living beings. Not just Koreans, not just Chinese, not just Vietnamese. That's not a bodhisattva path we're walking. We're benefiting everyone. Is that clear? When the white monk left, the white people got very upset. They said, oh, we lost the only pale-faced monk the master has. Say what? So my Dharma, in order to benefit you pale-faced people, I need to have a white monk? I was so offended. For that, I would never have a white-faced monk, a pale-faced monk, just to make a point. Wait, does it sound right? Okay, I take it back. Sorry. Strike it! Don't do that, thank you. Okay, remind me, it's okay to strike me. Gently. Okay, so the mindset is very important. We're striving to benefit everyone. Okay? So that's why when the Catholics come, we help the Catholics. When the non-Catholics come, we help the non-Catholics. When the Hinayana people come, we help the Hinayana people. We don't say, you are not like us, get out of here. That's not what we do. What did I do now? Stop interrupting me. What? Right? They're moving the microphone. Is it me? I'm too loud? Now it's my fault? Okay. Sorry. I will behave. So you see, my friends, what we're doing, I'm not talking about just monks, I'm talking about our community. What we're doing is to benefit living beings the best way we can. Okay? And we don't discriminate. I don't like it when you say, I only want to help or save Koreans. Then stay in Korea. Okay? Why do you only prefer girls over men? I like girls. Oh, no, that doesn't sound right. Strike that. Thank you. We benefit everyone. He spoke very clearly. We benefit everyone. We don't discriminate. Is that clear? If you don't have that mindset, then you don't understand what we stand for. We may be small. We may be only a handful of us. But this is what we stand for. This is what my Chinese teacher taught me. The ideal I espouse, I said, I'm going to try to benefit all living beings. Not just Vietnam, not just China. You have that kind of mindset? Shame on you. It's not what we stand for, okay? Work harder, okay? Benefit living beings, okay? Yes, you can choose first start with yellow and white or whatever, but eventually, I hope you will benefit all living beings. Don't be happy. They just say, I only help Koreans. I'm having a lot of Korean Sangha, so I'm a little bit worried that they only help Koreans. You need to let others have good things and take bad things first on yourself. Point number 2, you want to help everyone. In order to help everyone, okay, what do? You need to let others have good things and you take on the bad things. It is so beautiful. That is exactly the spirit of Mahayana. I don't dare call it American anymore because this is the same. Whether it's American or Chinese, it's the same. We let others get the good things. Please donate to the other temple. Please donate to the other sanghas, okay? Yeah. And just donate. Is it a bad thing? Is it a bad thing? Bad thing. I can't think of a bad thing. Okay? See, let others get the benefits first. Don't try to get the benefits yourself. It is so fundamental. Why is that? Because the rest of the world is always hoarding the benefits for themselves. And not only that, he says, don't just hoard the good things for yourself. Instead, take the bad things first for yourself. It's so beautiful. I just criticize him for that part because I know the audience is different. At that back then when he explained this section, he looked at his assembly and said, this is what I'm going to teach you. But for you, I cannot allow this to go without clarifying it for you. That's why I did an overstrike of all this text because it's not for you. For low-level people, for people who are new to Mahayana, fine. He can get away with it, but not for you. Okay? That's why ignore it. But the next part is excellent. It is so simple, and yet it encapsulates the spirit of Mahayana. We do not try to hoard advantages for ourselves. Instead, we let others get advantages and take on the disadvantages. That is what we stand for. No. It's okay. It's okay. You don't mean that. You don't mean that. It's okay. It's okay. It's not meant to be applauded. Okay? Okay. Just strike it. Yes, go Forrest.
Hello, Master. I'm just wondering if you don't think that taking on all the bad things makes us look too like misogynist or too aesthetic. I mean, I think in American culture, giving people the good things is like praise, and it's okay. But for you to just take all the bad stuff, it doesn't really fit in with the culture.
Yeah. I mean, this is not the culture. This is the modern times where everyone is considered to be stupid if they don't take advantage of the opportunities. Yeah? Yes or no? If good things happen, you don't grab it. Someone else will. That's the attitude. And for us, is we ignore it. Good things happen, and we can grab it before someone else can. We don't. It's that simple. Not very profound. He's talking about a state of mind. Okay? When good things are supposed to happen, okay, let's say you there and someone else, you are equally are able to grab the things. You happen to be slower, so that they grab it before you. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. Is that clear? Because everyone is so fast on their feet, trying to grab for advantages and benefits. We are slow when it comes to that. Is that clear? Does it help, Daniel?
Yeah, that makes it simpler, but there is still there's a part where it says you grab the difficulty for yourself. So I like it, but I just feel like right now I'm thinking like at work, if I always do that, they're gonna be like, damn, like he's weird. He always just wants he doesn't want the good food. He doesn't want the good shifts. It just makes us look bad.
No, there's a proper way for you, in particular, to do it. For example, at work, okay? Your boss says, I have 2 projects, okay? And one would be easier because you can be here in the plant. The other, you have to go somewhere else to help out. Okay, someone, because my buddy over there needs help. Okay, it's not part of your performance plan, but it is not going to count towards things. And so the first part says, let others have the good things. Okay, so you say, let me think about it, and your friend will grab it right away, because he wants to be close to the boss and please your boss. And then the boss says, what about going over to another plant and help out? And no one, that's why you say, if no one wants it, can I do it? I happen to have a little bit of extra time. And if something I fall behind, I come back and catch up later. That's what is meant by you take the bad ones on yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Master. I get it. I was just, again, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be redundant, but I just feel like, when I was already kind of trying to do this at work, but I feel like people are going to look at me like, why? Why is he doing that? Why is he always taking the bad thing? So, I don't know, do you think I shouldn't just worry about that and just do it anyways?
Do it while you can before they fire you. There's a price to pay. If you keep on taking bad things on yourself, pretty soon they will look at you as weird and stupid, and they dump things on you. Okay? You can only do that as long as you deliver your part of it. Okay? There's a compromise. There is a balance. You cannot do it excessively. It's not a clear solution for everything. I cannot give you a formula for you to decide 80%, 70%, so forth. I'm just saying it's about a mindset, Daniel, that we're talking about. When something beneficial, okay, you know, if it's very simple for you to say, well, to yield to someone else. You know why is that? Because all you have to do is look at them and you realize they're married. They have some kids. They have more needs than you. So it's much easier for us. Instead of competing on a basis of getting a promotion, you could compete on the basis of compassion. That's why it's rather easy for us to say, you know, for this kind of good things here, okay, I don't need it as much as the other person. That helps justify your position. So it's not as stupid as it sounds to others. Okay? You should say, you know, I'm real busy. I really don't have a lot of time. So, you know, maybe he should do it himself. I'm really swamped right now. So it depends on how you come across. Okay? But the attitude is that for us internally, we're able to let go and forego seizing the good opportunities. It's very easy for us because we see the suffering of others and needs of others. We see their suffering. I went to the temple, as I talked to you earlier in the evening in a chant class. I saw the temple. I said, I'm so poor. So I got some money out. I said, you know, God, these people are struggling to make ends meet, make mortgage payments and so forth. I got $80. So I made excuses to give them $80. And I even apologized. I said, I'm sorry, today I don't have any cash on me. But that's all I have. Please accept, you know. Because I see them suffering. I can suffer, you know, $80 in my pocket and $0 in my pocket. I suffer the same way. But they need more than I do. Okay? So instead of me spending $80 that I have in my pocket, I let them spend the $80. I just don't spend until I have more money. Can I borrow some money? Anyway. You got that? So, Daniel, see what I'm teaching you? Teaching you is that if you find your heart to say, you know, that person, I think he should get it because he needs it more than I do, that's very easy for you to do. Is that clear? What about the bad ones? Now, the bad ones, you be careful now. It's slightly more delicate. That ones requires you to have enough strength to handle the bad ones. So if you don't have enough skills or wisdom to handle the bad ones, okay, don't take on too many bad ones. You're going to die, which is a stupid thing to do. Okay? He's not saying here, okay, take bad ones first on yourself, okay? What I'm trying to explain to you is that we all have to be careful, and that's a natural thing. I don't want you to take literally. Take bad ones ourselves is that take as many bad ones as we can. Don't just take bad ones, then you're crazy. No such a thing. You have responsibilities too, to your family, to your girlfriend, and so forth. Yeah? So there's a balance there. Okay? So far, so good? Okay. But it's a spirit where if we can, we let others get the good ones. And if we can, we would take the bad ones first, so that others don't have to go through that dilemma. Okay? And that's very, very Mahayana, by the way. This is contrary to the world wisdom. This is why you are different. That's why you are special. And no one appreciates you. The people, like Daniel said earlier, people look at you like, you're weird, you're so stupid. Yeah, we're stupid. Okay? Advantageous situations should be passed on to others, keeping non-advantageous ones for oneself. Okay? So he repeated that. He says how, this is his style. When it's important, he repeats it. So the emphasis here refers to the mindset of the people who cultivate Mahayana. Mahayana cultivation is not about reciting 4 2 hands and eyes. It's not about reciting the morning ceremony and explaining sutras. The core of all that is based on this, okay? That good things, pass it on to others. Bad things, we try to handle them so that others don't have to deal with bad things. And if others think we're stupid, so be it. We may be stupid now, but we become Buddhas before you. Losers. Yes, I'm loser now. To you. But I become a Buddha before you, losers. You are real losers. Okay? Hello? Tonight, don't have to worry. I'm not yelling at people who show up late. Okay, all of you who have received Bodhisattva precepts should be aware of it. No, you don't need to receive Bodhisattva precept. This is a mindset. You don't need precepts. Precepts have nothing to do with it. This is how we think. This is what we believe. It has nothing to do with Bodhisattva precepts. Strike it! Got that? It's so beautiful. What he taught is he encapsulates the spirit of the Bodhisattva because he's a Mahasattva. He understands. And then he finishes with belittling it. Who needs Bodhisattva precepts? Bodhisattva precepts are not meant for this. Bodhisattva, if he puts it this way, then Bodhisattva's precepts are actually in the way of this spirit. That's why I ordered you to strike it. But you're free to follow him if you like. I'm calm. 9:39. Any question? Anything is not clear to you? This is so important, folks. It's beautiful what he taught here. It's so beautiful. Okay? Keep that in mind. Okay? I don't give a darn about your 4 2 hands and eyes, your Shranga mantra, your temples, your relics, your money and so forth. If you do this, you become a Buddha. This is what Buddhas and Bodhisattvas do. They don't need no damn mantras. Got it? Who needs mantras? Who needs temples? Who needs money? Who needs relics? Are you kidding me? (939) Row 2 of the Deep Secret is largely the same as this.
生密第二大义同此。
(940) So it confirms that what he's talking about. 941, it also says, all those whose but Gala is of the seat nature of sound hearers, tending towards stillness, although they received all Buddha's establishment of all kinds of aiding practices for courageous vigor and instructive guidance through expedience.
又云：一切趣极声闻种性，补特伽罗虽蒙诸佛施设种种勇猛加行，方便化导。
Okay, so he's revealing why you struggle so much. Why is it I've been teaching you and it doesn't get into your head, your skull is so thick, you don't get it because of this nature he's talking about. It's not that we are not willing to teach you, it's just that you don't get it. So it says, all those who put Gala is that of the seat nature of sound hearer standing towards stillness. He's referring to the sound hearers. Okay, the Sanskrit word Gala is variously translated, sometimes as a person, sometimes as numerous graspings, attachment, destinies. It means that what is repeatedly reborn among the 6 destinies on the wheel of rebirth, heavens, earth, person, or ghost, as you are, or abruptly become an animal, or you're a hell resident, okay? All those 6 paths in that we've been revolving since beginningless time. That's why we're still here today. And tomorrow, after we die, most of us will still continue to revolve in this wheel. Okay? So these people, they revolve, they keep on dying and then being born again endlessly. Okay, and they're very proud of it. They say, you see, who are you? You are a beggar. I am the governor of the state of California. I am nobility. Okay? And after he dies, he goes to the house, straight to the house. And that's what happens to ordinary people. And they're so proud of it. Every time they're born, they say, who are you? I have accomplishments. And you know what happens to these people? They die, they fall to the hell, they suffer for so much, for so long. Okay? And then when they climb up gradually, slowly from the hells to the hungry ghosts, to the animals, to people, okay, with low lives, losers, and so forth. Eventually become a California governor again. And they say, you are a bunch of losers, I'm better than you. And they're so happy, okay? They get drunk, okay? They use drugs, and they cheat and steal from people. And when they die, cycle repeats itself endlessly. It's scary, but you're not scared. It's what's amazing about you. You forget, you conveniently forget. That's all. We all forget. Okay? So that's what Patgala is at. You continuously revolve in a wheel in your reincarnation. And you've been doing it for so long. And you're so darn good at it already. You're so used to it already. There's no talking to you. Okay? And then, at some point in time, in your evolution, you met the Buddha Dharma, you made an offering, a triple jewel, okay? And one day, those seeds mature, and then all of a sudden you have this seed that says, this thought that says, I want to become an arhat. I want to stop this madness. I want to end this suffering and attain peace for once in my life, for real. And be in control of my life. Okay? And that's what this people is talking about. The Buddha knows it. He says, the seeds I gave you, or in your wandering in samsara, okay, you eventually, one of your good seeds will mature, okay, and then you want to escape all this madness. And then some of these people have disposition of sound hearers, meaning that that's all they can afford. Very much like all we can afford is buy old and used cars. Okay, so these people have enough blessings and they want to have dispositions of sound hearers. So these people are special in the sense that they have enough blessings to say, I want to once and for all attain stillness, meaning that to stop all my sufferings forever. That's pretty remarkable. It's nothing to laugh at. But he says, there's some people who have such dispositions, meaning primarily Hinayana people. Okay? Next, 943. Although they receive the kindness and compassion of all the Buddhas of the 10 directions, okay? The Buddhas are all the Buddhas of the 10 directions, not just Sakyamuni Buddha. It's all Buddhas throughout the universe who establish all sorts of expedient doors, meaning they set up so many expedients for us, okay, to escape suffering. And furthermore, Buddhas are what Buddhas do. You know, they could be in the form of manifesting as a beggar and dying of thirst. And you look at that, and somehow you see the suffering, and you give rise to the thought of compassion in your heart. You say, you know, sir, you know, ma'am, you can have the rest of my Coca-Cola. I mean Pepsi. Okay? I don't need it. You need it more than I do. Okay? That right there is a seed for you to attain 4th-stage arhatship. They do that. They do that a lot. Okay? To all living beings. Not just one Buddha. All sorts of Buddhas set up such expedients all over. Okay? Furthermore, they also set up aiding practices for courageous vigor, meaning that then once your seeds for seeking stillness, seeking the end to end all your suffering forever, okay, once those are activated, the Buddha then further, once you get started there, they also set up more expedients to help us progress a lot quicker, more vigorously. And a wealth of instructive guidance through skill and clever expedients to teach them. So Buddha is constantly watching over these people who wish to put an end to all the sufferings. It's, this excuse, food, water, an excuse for cars, excuse for houses, excuse for, for wine, all the things, okay? They would stop at nothing to help him. Whatever it takes, okay? So basically, Buddhas are watching over us. Good things that happen to you, again, is because Buddhas are guiding us to go in that direction. Believe. They've been doing it, and yet you don't even know. They don't ask for recognition. And this is a problem of worldly people. They think they can figure it out, they can't. It's just like, to give a very typical example is that the parents, our parents, did so much for us, a lot more than we realize until we become parents. Then we realize what it takes, we learn what it takes to help raise a child, and they keep on taking and taking from us. And one day they leave us. Take us for granted. That's what we did to our parents. Same thing for Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They help us in so many ways, a lot more than our parents can. Okay? Because our parents cannot give us instructive guidance. Our parents are too confused themselves. Okay? Next. 944, in the end, cannot be caused to take the seat in the way, place, and accomplish Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi.
终不能令当作道场证阿耨多罗三藐三菩提。
So, it says here that for all the work the Buddhas puts into, all the blood and sweat they put into it, okay, to help living beings progress through the sea of suffering, okay, and until the good seeds mature, enough good seeds mature for them to be wished to become arhats or sound hearers, wishing for stillness, okay. In the end, they still fall short of the big goal, which is to become a Buddha. They said, I'm so cool, I'm going to be an arhat. I'm happy, I don't need to go further. I'm much better off than the rest of you already. And they're missing out on the great fun. Literally. Okay? They're so happy with so little. They become happy with so little achievements. 946. Moreover, the ninth row of the 10 wheels also speaks of the 3 vehicles, each having fixed differences, all because of 5 fixities of nature.
又十轮第九，亦说三圣各定差别，皆以性定五故。
Okay, so continuing, since we go through this Master Ching Liang's chain of thought here. He also says the Ninth Row 10-Wheel Sutra speaks of 3 vehicles, each having their own fixed differences, because the 5 fixities of nature. This will be elaborated further very soon. Okay, so he's going through, he says, see, I read all those things and I'm putting them together to give you the big picture, to explain things for you. 948, therefore in the Lankavatara, the Buddha tells great wisdom. There are 5 kinds of seat natures. 1, the nature for the sound hearer vehicle. 2, the nature for the Pratyeka Buddha's vehicle.
故楞伽中佛告大会，有5种种性：1. 声闻圣性；2. 必知佛圣性。
Very good. 949. And so, therefore, in Lankavatara Sutra, so now he talk about, he's quoting, he says, Master Jingliang, he says, you see, I tell you, for me to make such a big statement, then I'm quoting the actual scriptures, okay, as a basis for my analysis. So he quoted the Lankavatara Sutra, okay, as another reference for the teaching. So Lanka is a place name of either Lanka mountain or Lanka city. It's translated from Sanskrit to mean that cannot be gone to. So apparently, and we don't know the exact locale here, and can also another translation is also unreachable, meaning that the place here, Lanka place here, is so difficult to get to. You need spiritual penetrations. You need to fly there. So unless you're an Arhat or Bodhisattva and so forth, you can fly there, or ghost and spirit, you can go there. And that's where the Buddha spoke this sutra, Lankavatara Sutra, and that's why the sutra took the mountain name for its name as a sutra name. And Master Jingliang says this Lankavatara Sutra here was translated by 3 different masters. Great Master Gunavabhadra in Sung Dynasty, Master Bodhiruchi, also well known. So you should know about these big names here because the Chinese Tripitaka came about because of the translation work from these great teachers, the great masters. Okay, and Master Shikshananda. And they translated that the Lankavatara, so they explain the name that way. And the further translation, unobtainable, meaning that it's so difficult to get at that it cannot be reached. 951. Nonetheless, the Buddha spoke sutra there, which enabled the area. It is unreachable, unobtainable, cannot be gone to, yet Buddha reached it, obtained, and went there. So that's why the name sticks in the Tripitaka. And Master Hsuan says, nowadays, it's about in the Sri Lanka area, and with helicopters, you can go there and take a look. 952. In that sutra, the Buddha Shakyamuni tells great wisdom Bodhisattva. There are 5 kinds of seat natures of living beings. Okay, so this is where the quote came from. The Buddha's instruction. It says the 5 kinds of seat natures of living beings in the scriptures. The first one, it has the nature of the sound hearer vehicle. Okay, therefore they love to cultivate Dhammadors or sound hearers, meaning that we have a lot of such people, especially in Southeast Asia, the Sri Lankans, many Vietnamese, most Vietnamese temples are basically sound hearer vehicles. Okay, you can tell that they are such because they keep on using Pali as a main source of sutras. Okay, as for scriptures, okay. And so basically nowadays most of Southeast Asia Buddhism is Hinayana based because it's more understandable. Whereas Mahayana is just too much for most people. Okay, and so actually in Asia nowadays, actually they are running away from Mahayana. That's why it's up to us now to get a fresh start in the West. 2, the seed nature of the Pratyeka Buddha's vehicle. And those are the enlightened conditions or solitarily enlightened who cultivate the 12 links of conditioned arisal or conditioned co-production. So again, these are some of the terms, the jargon that I'd like you to be exposed to, because this is actually the foundation of the greater Mahayana teaching. Any questions? I want you to understand it because you can reference, because when a monk speaks to you and he quotes, for example, the teachings from the Hinayana scriptures, then you know it's Hinayana, it's sound hearer vehicle or conditioned, aligned to conditions, dharmas. Okay? That's why it's important for you. Don't criticize them, just you need to recognize who they are, where they're going. That's all. DTT.
Master, I have a question that the Buddha also said that all living beings have the Buddha nature and they will become or the Buddha in the future. Is that conflicting with this classification?
No, it's no contradiction. The seed nature here refers to the seeds they have in the consciousness that are only good enough to bring them so far. But they are the seeds who will mature in the future. Nothing to worry about. Okay? In our consciousness, there are many different types of seeds. That's why when the different types of seeds mature, this is where we're going to go. That's all. That's all it means. Okay? So that's why if you follow Hinayana teachers, Tibet and so forth, you basically are planting the seeds of the sound hearers and Pratyeka Buddha vehicles. And therefore, the more of those seeds you have, the more likely you have to stop there for a while. Okay? Until your Mahayana seeds mature, then you could go further. That's all. Because the majority of the seeds are actually Hinayana. It's not a whole lot. They can't go very far. And that's why they only are drawn to Hinayana and Tibetan kind of things. Okay? It doesn't matter how much you tell them, they don't believe. Okay? That's all. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing bad or good. It's just the way it is. Any other questions? Yes, 7.
Master, you're on slide 953. Which slide do we need to prepare next?
Next time is 953.
No, for which set of slides do we prepare next after door number 2?
Door number 2? It's still quite a ways to go. At least another year or so. 6 months a year. So we have plenty of time. Okay, we stop here tonight. Thank you, everyone.